Am I supposed to talk?
That's right, we started.
Like, you're gonna tell me? So these are my top 5 squads.
Sillyscape's top 5 squads.
So we're
Nobleman Nick behind the camera.
Obviously, because who else is making that voice behind?
Top 5 squads. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So who's the 5th?
I would say the Axe Grinders.
Okay.
They're a lot of fun. They're the only one in this grouping that is of 4. So the most units you can have.
And they can bond, so you can move 5 guys at a time with these guys.
Yeah, they get extra attack.
And they're small, so they're hard targets.
Yeah. And I just like dwarves, and they hit pretty heavily, and they're...
But I think the cool thing with them, yeah, they get the extra attack against the large and huge. And you can choose to bond them or just move 6 spaces.
Yeah, so they can choose either go further or less, but, you know... I just think like they're a fun unit. They don't get enough love sometimes, but they go for a lot on just eBay and anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They go for a lot. So
well, they're one of the newer things. Usually the newer ones are
yeah,
kind of expensive sometimes. But yeah, I think as far as paint and detail, they're really, really good.
Oh yeah,
and
I like their poses.
They're cool little buff dudes.
Oh yeah. Kind of point of being a dwarf. You're just small, buff.
Any bonding squad is definitely good, but that's the only bonding squad he has in his top 5.
Yep. I like to play a little differently. So, 4th place, I would say, be the Knights Templar.
Alright. Why is that?
Well, they can bond, but they go in fast, and if you're facing at someone Utgard, they just hit heavily. They just massive attack, and I like knights, and they're fun, and honestly, ironically, they're the only knights on this. Well, technically not the only knights on this team, but if there was a 6th place or 7th place, there would be probably more knights on my team. I don't like knights.
Knights of Weston on your top, whatever.
Yeah, because they're not here, but they would be. They just don't have a lot of like aesthetically and everything. I love the Knights of Weston, but they just don't have a lot of. You know, unless you're bonding. But the Templar are they're pretty good. And then Delta, they're so much cheaper, so you can just have an army rush in.
So yeah, they're 70 points. So I think that's like the most anything went down, because they were like 120 or something. Now they're 70. So that's like 50 less points. So that's insanely less. But yeah, they're really fast. They hit hard, especially if you're Utgar, especially if you're charging, though.
Yeah, that charging ability is fun, because then you just go up and...
Yeah, and if you're small or medium, they get more defense, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
Yeah, so they're fun units to play with, and I feel like they don't get enough love sometimes.
And they look pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I just thought they were so cool.
Templar.
Took me forever to actually get one, because I never got one when I was a kid. So, with that said, we're on to... 3rd place would be the Phantom Knights.
The other Knights.
I personally like it because they look cool. The fact that they also have stealth flying, so you can move around, can't really hold them down, and that ability to just really have a lot of defense against ranged attack. You can really get up there, getting close before, and not get shot down.
Yeah, I think
their stats aren't bad. Now, Nick does point out they are a little expensive for everything, but just...
For their stats alone, they're a little on the high side, but that's
they
because...
do pretty good, I think.
That's because when they fly, they move 6 with fly, so within like 2 or 3 turns again, usually within 2 turns they can get to the enemy, and even if you have range, they're pretty much going to hit you and kill you first, because they get that like 8 defense.
Yeah, because unsustainable...
Something like that.
It's like shooting a ghost, go right through them. But even when they get up close to it, they have, like, I think 4 defense, 3 attack, which is pretty normal. So, I mean, they're still
so they still
combat,
they still get just fine stats.
Kind of sucks on Urquhart's team, because it kind of makes you think of, like, the Ghost Army from Lord of the Rings, from Return of the King.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, they're pretty good, definitely. Especially if you have a little range on your team, and you're worried about range, you can... put them on your team. Or if you don't have any, then you can just stick them in there.
True. And once again, it is just like the last one where second and first place almost could be interchangeable, but it's like if I had to pick, comes down to it, and I'm gonna disappoint Nick here, but second place is actually the Einar.
Yeah, I figured.
You guessed Einar first.
No, when you first just said that, I was like, oh yeah. And then as soon as you said these guys, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna be like fifth or something because these guys are higher than them. But anyway.
Einar, I don't feel like they get enough love, but they
Einar
look
Imperium.
cool. They wear 2 swords, they come in, and here's the thing. They have stealth flying. Again, stealth flying is just very useful. They're getting in, getting out. They can't be held down easily.
And they have
double attack.
5 move, but with that Laga, they could even move stealth flying with 6.
And
so they can do whatever they want. Potentially get up to 4 attack 2 times if you're landing above people. They look cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they have a lot of potential with that, and just be able to kind of get an army and swarm and kind of just cut them down. But yeah, they are kind of expensive, but they are good units. That's why I feel like they're expensive.
I always felt like they were the least most likely squad for me to grab just because of their expensiveness, but when you get their hero with them, then they roll 3 or 4 defense and they can re-roll all of them that didn't get shields, so they can actually survive pretty well, especially if you throw in Raylin in the mix. So...
Yeah, but but then doing that, you would also slow them down a little bit because she won't be able to do this, but
yeah,
it's all good. But yeah, they're fun and they look cool, and I feel like they're a little underrated. If you get really lucky rolling on them, I played a game with Nick and I just was... Yeah,
people don't use them often, but they were pissing me off a couple times.
Yeah, they're fun. Constantly we were rolling those shields because of Empress and then just double attacking you constantly. And just, didn't get it. Oh, now I got it.
Yep.
First place, the Warforged.
Yep, Alex loves the Warforged, which is who he just used in the tournament.
Yep, because I saw Mr. Heroscape did once, and I just was amazed at how well Tactical Switch and that just one defense shield, the automatic shield, really can get them to really where you need to go. Because automatic shield, I think you told me, is like having you have 2 defense.
It's like having 3 dice, but since they have 2 defense on top of that,
yeah,
it's like having 5 defense, but a max of only rolling 3 shields.
Yeah, because of percentages.
Yeah.
And then the tactical switch, you can just take them off height. You don't have to fight for it.
And then you get 4 attack all the time.
And then you get 3 defense because you get the height. So they're in place. They look cool. They're all plated.
So it's almost like having 4 attack with 6 defense in a lot of cases.
And they do pretty good. If you roll good and consistently, they can do damage and they can survive. It's just something with high attacks. Yeah, they're a little weak, but I would like in the future they have something you can bond with them like an army because then you can move more of them up with it. But I mean, they have my favorite color, blue too. So that's the other thing. So they kind of aesthetically please me too, like all that silver and blue. So
yeah. So their stats are basically really good when you take their powers into consideration.
And ironically, this is just like the last one. I had one from every general, except this time instead of from Ular, I have Quilla. But that's the thing. I would have, like, if I had a 6th place, I would have put the Protectors of Ular. Because
he likes them a lot.
I was between them and the Dwarves, to be honest.
But yeah, Alex used these guys in the last tournament. He's only played 2 tournaments. The first one, unfortunately, he got like 1 and 3, but this one he got 2 and 2. And apparently he got 8th place out of 24 people.
Because I did good trying to kill off a lot of their units before they finished me off. But.
So yeah, so he is kind of in the top 3rd.
I don't know even how that happened, but...
Well, because when you lost, it wasn't by much.
Yeah, and I also tried to play
when you won, it was by more. Yep. So anyway, they're a good squad.
Yep. And I'm probably not going to do the other 2 videos like he did that I didn't do here is because mine were probably so close to what he did and saying, I just, no point making it in my opinion.
But anyway,
like
that was
squads
Alex's...
guys you're afraid to face.
Top 5. Yep.
So...
And I think it's Einar, Vidar, Jandar, Utgar. This time instead of Ular, you have an Aquila.
I just said that earlier.
Oh, whatever.
It's all good.
See you guys next time.
See you later. Have a good night.